Hello, second form. Mr. Falali here. I hope you are all well. Um, I have made this video for you today to talk you through your longer writing assignment. Primarily, what I'm going to be showing you today is how to plan around the quotations that you're going to use in your assignment. Okay? We understand the fact that, of course, you don't have your teachers at home. And so something like a writing assignment might seem quite daunting, quite tricky to do independently. And I'm hoping that this video will give you a little bit more clarity and a bit more understanding of what it is that you are being tasked to do. Okay, so I'm going to just read you through some of the text. I'm not going to read absolutely everything. Okay, it should be Thursday now that you're watching this video. Don't worry if it's not. You will most probably have your copy of this document, okay? If you do, then perhaps have that document open on another tab. You could always pause this video and go and get it open. Or feel free to just continue watching, okay? But hopefully, as I talk you through this document, this isn't the first time that you've seen it, although if this is the first time you're seeing it, that's absolutely fine, okay? So it begins with this. It says, within this document, you will find the question extract and some quotes to help you. You will also find a planning grid to use. That's what we're going to be spending most of our time on in this video, okay? And then it says at the end of the document, there are some useful tips to improve your essay. Now, here is your longer written assignment question. Why does the creature commit acts of evil? So, of course, we're talking about the novel Frankenstein, which we studied all term. This is the question. Why does the creature commit acts of evil? Now, if you were to scroll right the way down to the bottom of this document, you will find where you need to write your answer, okay? Now, the reason I'm scrolling down here is because it gives us a quick reminder. It says, use the extract, which we'll look at in a moment, quotes, and your knowledge of the story to help you answer this question. And again, for a third time, the question is, why does the creature commit acts of evil? It then says below that you're being challenged to write 300 words, okay? So that's at least 4 paragraphs. Your paragraphs can take the point, evidence, explain format, okay? So paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4 can all be point, evidence, explain paragraphs, also known as analytical paragraphs, okay? And do use these writing frames to help you in your answer, okay? You can use these prompts to help you to write your paragraphs, okay? If each of your analytical paragraphs has a point, has a quotation, and you attempt to explain your quotation, then you'll definitely be on the right track, okay? What I want to help you with today, though, is your quotations. So for each analytical paragraph, and you're going to be writing 4 of those, you're going to aim to write 4. You need to have a quotation in each of those paragraphs, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how you would go about choosing a quotation, and then how you would go about annotating a quotation on a computer, because we're going to be using this planning section here to annotate our quotations. Of course, in class, what we would normally do with a quotation is we would underline or highlight the quotation and we would annotate around it. Now, that would be quite tricky to do on a computer. You're all young, you understand technology, and there probably is a way to do it, but I'm old, so I think this is probably going to be the way to do it, okay? If you do know a better way of doing this, do let me know. I will give you £15 or a merit, whichever I have to hand at the time that I see you, okay? So let's start by looking here. So this is your quotation plan, your extract plan. Now, you want to aim to have 4 quotations. You want to have 2 quotations from your extract, which is here, and we'll go through this in a moment. So this is the extract that you've been given. Now, in this extract, which I'm going to highlight, you need to find 2 quotations which you think will help you to answer the question, why does the creature commit acts of evil? Okay, so that's 2 quotations. We want 4 in total, so then the question becomes, where do we get the other 2 quotations? Well, you can find those down here. It says, below are some quotes from elsewhere in the novel. Select one from Victor's story, which is here in red, and one from the monster story, which is here in green, to help you answer the question. So for Victor Frankenstein's story, you have 3 quotations, okay? For the monster story, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 quotations. So what that means you need to do is, when you're planning your quotations, you need to have 2 quotations from the extract, which is here. You want to pick one of these 3 quotations from Victor Frankenstein's story, and you want to pick one of these 4 quotations from the monster story. If you were to take 2 quotations from the extract, one from Victor Frankenstein's story and one from the monster story, you will have 4 quotations, okay? The first quotation you write here, the second one you write there, the third here, and the fourth here. Now we're going to annotate our quotations in green below, and I'm going to show you how to do that now, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a quotation from the extract. Do feel free to pick the same quotation as me, although I would perhaps challenge you to try and pick a quotation that I haven't chosen, just so perhaps you're using a little bit more of your own brain power. Although if, as you watch this video and you see me annotate the quotation, you feel as though there's more to say about that quotation, perhaps you don't think I've annotated it fully, or you've got a slightly different interpretation, do feel free to then use the same quotation and to add your own thoughts, okay, by all means. So I am going to just read this the start of the extract. I'm not going to read it all, okay, because you can do that in your own time. And I'm going to pick a quotation. I'm going to explain why I've picked it, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to annotate it, okay? So the extract begins like this. Then one morning I saw a figure coming towards me, faster than any man could go. It jumped easily over the rocks, and I saw with horror the monster I had created. On his face was a look of deep sadness, but also of evil. At first I could not speak because I hated him so much, but at last I said, "You are an evil creature. I shall kill you if I can, because you have killed 2 people that I love." The monster's eyes, yellow eyes, looked at me. "I am the unhappiest creature in the world, but I shall fight for my life," he said. "I'm bigger and stronger than you, but I will not start the fight. I shall always be gentle to you, because you are my king and creator. You made me, and you should love me and be kind to me, like a father. William and Justine died because you did not love me. Why did you create me if you were not ready to love me?" Now, I can already see as I read this paragraph, there are many useful quotations here, I think. I just want to remind you of the question again, okay? So, why does the creature commit acts of evil? So we're trying to think of who might be to blame for the creature's personality, for these evil acts that it's committed. Society, Victor Frankenstein, the creature itself. Who are we to blame, okay? Why do they commit acts of evil? I would always recommend when you read an extract that you never just read it once, okay? What I would recommend you do when you come to writing your assignment is I'd read this quotation 2, 3, maybe even 4 times, okay? The first time I'm reading it is just to remind myself of what happens in that part in the novel, okay? The second and third time, perhaps the fourth time, or even the fifth, I'm reading it with a slightly more critical eye, okay? I'm trying to find quotations that I think really back up my response, okay? Why does the creature commit acts of evil? I'm going to pick this quotation here, where the monster says to Victor Frankenstein, "I am the unhappiest creature in the world." I'm just going to pick that quotation. Now, what I'm going to do, if you didn't notice, I copied that quotation, and I'm just going to paste it where it says extract quote 1. I'm just going to copy and paste it there. So now, for extract quote 1, I have my first quotation. "I am the unhappiest creature in the world." Now, because we can't annotate the way we normally would, this is what I think would be a useful thing to do, okay? Where it says annotation ideas, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the key words that I want to zoom in on, okay? So there are 2 words in this sentence, in this quotation, that I think would be useful to zoom in on, to explore, to interpret, to analyze, okay? The first one is the word unhappiest, okay, which is an adjective. I'm going to just note the type of word it is, okay, the word type. And the second word that I think I would explain, that I would explore a little bit, is the word creature, okay, and that's a noun. Now, if I wanted to zoom in on the word unhappiest, okay, the reason why I've chosen this quotation, I'm the unhappiest creature in the world, is because, again, the question that we're answering is, why does the creature commit acts of evil? Now, the creature has just said to his creator, to his father, that he regards himself as being the unhappiest creature in the world. And so if I were to say, for example, that I think that one of the reasons why the creature commits these acts of evil is because the creature is deeply unhappy, deeply unsatisfied with life, then I think that this is a really useful quotation to use, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write the word unhappiest, I'm going to write adjective, I'm also going to mention that it's a superlative, okay? It's a superlative because it's the strongest example of something. So if you have, for example, the word big, then you have the word bigger. Well, the word biggest is a superlative because you can't be bigger than the biggest thing. Equally, the word smallest is a superlative, and the word unhappiest is also a superlative because you can't be unhappier than the unhappiest thing, okay? So the fact that the creature says that he is the unhappiest creature in the world, the use of that superlative, I think you could say it suggests that the creature is deeply depressed, disheartened, with life. The fact that he uses this word, the superlative unhappiest, suggests that he's deeply depressed, deeply disheartened with life, but also the fact that the creature says that he's deeply unhappy, it also shows that he does feel emotion, okay, which makes you feel even more sympathy with him, okay? It makes the creature appear to be a sympathetic character because the reader understands that the creature is capable of feeling emotion. And not only is the creature able to feel emotion, but the creature is feeling deeply sorrowful. Not just being able to feel emotion, but is feeling very sad. Okay? Also, the fact that the creature uses the word creature to describe themselves. I know we spoke about this in my class if you're in 2C. The fact that he doesn't say, I'm the unhappiest person in the world. He says, I'm the unhappiest creature. Okay? Now, the word creature, we associate the word with animals and wildlife. So it suggests, perhaps, that the creature's self-esteem or self-worth is so low that he doesn't even necessarily regard himself as human. It's almost as though his creator and society have been so cruel, they've rejected him so completely that he doesn't even see himself as being a human. He sees himself as being a creature, which again is a word that we maybe associate with an animal. It's more like he's an animal than a person. But the significance here is that society and Victor Frankenstein seem to have broken him down so much. He's so low, he's the unhappiest creature in the world. He's so low that he doesn't regard himself as being human. So I'll just finish this annotation. So it suggests perhaps that the creature's self-esteem and self-worth is so low that he does not consider himself to be human. I'm just going to add that last thought because of the rejection he has faced in society and from his creator. So you'll notice that I'm not necessarily writing in full sentences, okay? This is just my exploring, my zooming in and exploring of keywords within the quotation. So in these annotation ideas boxes, you don't need to write full sentences. You might even use bullet points, okay? But what you want to do is you want to zoom in on the keywords and you want to try and explore them a little bit, okay? Talk about their effect. So I've done that with unhappiest and I've done it with creature. The first thing I've done is I've said what word type it is. Now, if you are able to do that, that would be excellent. And I would suggest perhaps using Google to find out what word type the word you're zooming in on is, okay? And then all I've done is I've tried to come up with an interpretation of the meaning of that word. So I'm just going to read our annotation ideas again, okay? Because I do know that obviously when I'm typing, sometimes it can be difficult to speak, to explain as I'm typing. So I want to just read it to you so it's a bit clearer. So we have annotation ideas. So the word unhappiest is an adjective. It's also a superlative, and it suggests that the creature is deeply depressed or disheartened with life. It suggests to the reader, it creates the creature as being a sympathetic character in the minds of the reader, because the reader understands that the creature is capable of feeling emotion and that the creature is deeply depressed, clearly. Then we zoomed in on the word creature. So creature is a noun. It's a word that we associate with animals or wildlife. It suggests perhaps that the creature's self-esteem or self-worth is so low that he does not consider himself to be human because of the rejection that he's faced in society from his creator. Now, what you need to do today is you need to try and find one more quotation from the extract, one quotation from Victor Frankenstein's story, and one quotation from the monster story here. And you want to add them here, here, and here. And then what you need to do today is you need to try and annotate each of those three quotations. Do not worry about answering the actual assignment today, because you're going to do that tomorrow, okay? So all you need to do is you need to find three more quotations that you think would be good to answer the question, why does the creature commit acts of evil? And you need to try and add that response. You need to try and add those annotations in this plan here, okay? Now the